Now it is visible, ma'am.
Okay. So yesterday we went to formulas. We picked
We
new,
went to here.
and then we selected on picture.
F2.
This is right. This is table.
And then drag it to the last cell.
So we have got our birth years with a very simple single argument function. So
Yes.
let's move on to a area code, which we are going to define as the first three digits of our telephone number. So for that, we are going to use a text function called left, and we are going to cover this in the text section, of course. But now, when I open up the parenthesis, like we'll go to area code. Um, we just give the so you can see I have written the this function left, and it starts from the equal sign. So when we open the parenthesis, it will give the what are the arguments we have to give. So the first we have to give the text,
Text.
then we have to give the num-
Number.
yeah, number of characters. One required called text and one optional,
Okay.
it is called number of characters. So we want to extract some characters from the text in cell H2. So
I.
this is 2.
H2.
Yes, cell H2. And if we were just to close the top, we can see what the default behavior is for that optional number.
Okay.
So like if I close this and if I just give enter, so by default it will give only one, the
One
first left number,
digit.
that is 6. So if we want more than that one first position number, we have to specify what are the number of characters we need. So we need first three no, numbers of the,
Numbers. Character.
yeah, so we have to specify three. If we give left,
Bracket.
then
Comma.
comma 3.
3.
You can see it has
Yes.
extracted the 618 number. So if I drag this,
It will automatically.
is
Yeah. Okay.
sorry, 3.
Bracket close.
Yes. So we can click into the formula bar, or double click the cell to edit and just navigate right. After that, the command to proceed. Okay. So this is how it extracted the thing. Now this the last example is going to get a little bit more complicated. Like don't worry if you have a little bit of a hard time for following along. We are going to revisit this example in depth in the
Okay.
coming sections. But in this case, I want to show you how formulas can get a bit more complex and a bit more
Okay.
advanced. Okay, so
Okay.
for username, we are going to define the username as everything before the app sign in the email. So email address. So in row two, the username would be Jennifer J.
Jennifer. Yeah.
Yes, Jennifer J. Margaret 99. Row three, it will be CAD is Louis 51, and so on. So
Okay.
just like our last example, we are going to start with a left function, and we want to return some characters from the left of the text. In this case, in J2, and now check this. So like here also
Left.
J2. So we can't just type something concrete here because this number of characters varies. It is not constant to all the names. Like, see, this Jennifer J. Margaret 99 is more uh, lengthier than Chad Lewis 51. So we can't give any constant number here, right?
Right. Right.
So we can't type 5 or 8 because it might be correct for the first row, but it won't be right for the
Correct
for all
for the
others.
other cells.
Yes. So when you arrive at such cases like this, where you need something a bit more sophisticated and dynamic, what you will often need to do is you will have to nest two functions within the arguments of other function. You should use nesting. Like inside one function, you should use another function. And that's exactly what we would do now. So, and in this case, I'm going to tell Excel, hey, we need to search for the app sign, and we are going to look for it within this text in J2. So what
Okay.
I will do, I will use the search function. So I want to extract the letters until the at the rate function. So I want our Excel to find out the at the rate symbol and then extract the letters until there. Okay. So we will use the search function now. One second. One second. One second. So in this left function, we will use another function called search. So J2 search, and then we'll open the parenthesis. So what we have to give, you can see the arguments here. So first we have to give the text, find text, which text you want to find. Then within text, like which is the text you have to find, and the start number. So that is the
Okay.
optional one. So in
Okay.
that place of find text, we will give at the rate, and within the text we will give J2. This is the text within which
Okay.
this text it should find the at. Okay.
Okay.
So I will give J2. Then the start number. So and then because I want to return all the characters just before that sign, I'm going to subtract one, and that is going to be to define the number of characters or arguments in my left function. So I can close off like see, I will tell you J2. Then I will tell minus one. I will explain you why I'm using
Okay.
minus one.
Okay. Okay.
So see, now if I give enter, you can see it has extracted the
User name.
character, yeah, characters from the first to the at.
At yeah.
Yes. So the proper answer for row 2, and there we go. It persists. It looks accurate all the way down. Um, what we is using? We are using left function,
Left
and yeah, opening the
text
parenthesis. Yes. Then we will give the text, that is J2.
J2
Then we will use the search
number.
function. We want to search the at the rate one. So we'll go with
Yeah.
search function.
Search,
So we want to find the text at
which is at the rate,
uh,
comma.
comma, and then J2. This is start number is the optional one,
Okay.
right? So if I give this, yeah, okay, I will give only this much. I will
J2
not
till
give
J2.
any value. Yes, I will not give any value for the
Okay.
optional one, for the search function. I will just give this. Okay. So see, now it is including the at the rate also. We
Hmm.
don't want this symbol, so we're doing -1. So if we do -1, it will take the length till the length -1 means it will
That means it will subtract the at the rate.
yes, it will exclude the this thing. So
Okay.
we are using uh, J2 search function. Then in the search function we are finding at the rate. Then uh, and see now it has excluded the at the rate this thing. So again, don't worry about the specific range of left and or specific usage of left and search here. So just remember that we are dealing with formula arguments and we are nesting functions within them to do more complex things. So there you have it. Hopefully that was a helpful primer on formula syntax. So we'll see the next one. So
Okay.
we'll move further. So, all right, now that we have talked about general formula syntax, it's time to address one of the most important topics of the course, that is reference types. So, what is the reference type? Oh, 1 second. Give me. Okay, we'll see what is the reference types. So now these reference types are what allow you to allow you to reuse or recycle formulas in multiple places and across multiple cells without having to manually retype formulas or manually update the references contained within them, so which as you will soon see would just be completely impractical. So these reference types are all about helping us work more efficiently with our formulas. Okay, now
Okay.
by default, called references are relative, and what this means is that those references will change. They will shift or slide as the formula is copied or moved to new cell. So, but here is the thing, you can use a dollar sign symbol to create something called a fixed reference. But and you can fix either an entire cell or range by inserting a dollar sign before both the column reference, in this case A, and the row reference, in this case 1. Or you can fix just a portion of a reference, like just a column or just a row. So if like, this is just a theory, we'll see the practicals. We'll take an example and discuss what is the reference types. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Or and what this does is prevent those references from changing as the formula that's contained within, what to say, is copied to new cells. So in other words, it locks in that reference or that piece of a reference and prevents it from sliding. So with the formula, so let's take a minute to illustrate what this usually means. So you can see a relative column and row, a first box. So consider a reference and a cell, one that's completely relative by default. So this is A1 and the C4, and those are completely relative by default. If you were to copy and paste the reference or the formula from A1 to C4, notice that both the column and the row shift. A shifts to column C. The column and the row shift. So she shifts to row 4. So the entire reference has changed. So we'll see that with the example also. Now consider a relative column and a fixed row. So this is
Okay.
the relative column and the fixed row. In this case, the A remains relative, but we have added a dollar sign to fix or lock in the row reference. Now, if that reference were to move down to cell C4, note that the A is still allowed to shift from A to C,
A
but the
to
one,
C.
yeah, but the one remains locked in place, no matter where that formula leaves. Same case with the uh, reverse matter. We can see in the third box, we had the fixed column, but the relative row now, or a reference or a column reference, remains the same. Okay. So but our row reference shifts from 1 to 4. So let's have an example for this. And then finally, if we have a fully fixed column and row, no matter where that formula were to move, it will remain, we would always be
Constantly same.
referencing back to cell A1, no matter what. So quick pro tip here is mastering reference type is far and away. So my number one tip for working efficiently with formulas, and I know it probably feels a little bit abstract right now, a little bit confusing, but trust me, if you invest the time to practice these references, which we will do throughout the course, you will be amazed how much time you can save. So with that, enough talking and enough theory about this, let's roll up our, and so let's jump into Excel. I want to show you some examples of why these reference types are so important. So we have one. So let us go to our Excel. So we have reference types here. All right. So for those of like who are following, like you can go ahead and open up. Okay. So here we have reference type a page in this Excel sheet. So in the second tab we have reference type, and what I have done is just built a pretty simple template for a 10-year financial projection. Okay, so this is a, so, and we are assuming that we have got three different assets here, A, B and C. I have got like you can see here three different assets, A, B and C. I have got made up expected growth rates here in column C, and we are just assuming. So this is the table of the financial projection. It is a 10-year financial projection, and we are assuming that we have got three different assets here, that is A, B and C. I have got made up expected growth rates here in column C. So this is the column C, and this is the expected growth rate, and we are just assuming a starting balance. So the starting balance of 1000 in each of these rows. And the idea here is just to use some basic Excel functions to forecast out what the starting balance would turn into over this 10-year period, given our different growth rates. You understood?
Yes, yes, I understand.
Okay. So let's see if we can make this work right here in cell E, in the E column. Cell E4, this is cell E4, or start with the equal sign as always. So I will
Yeah,
put equal sign.
equal to.
Yes. And we are basically going to say, let's take our starting balance and let's multiply it by 1.08 or 108%. That is 100 plus
Okay,
8%. Okay.
okay.
So to do that, we will open up parenthesis, like we will give the D4. Sorry, not this one. We have to give the D4 into
C4.
mm, no
Okay. 1 plus
1 plus C4. This is C4. It's going to multiply by 1.08, and if we are feeling good about that, we can simply close the parenthesis. Like if I close this parenthesis, so you can see
yeah.
it has multiplied, and it has added. So if And there you have it. Our 100 has turned into $1,080 by the end of the year one. So this is the amount our customer is getting after 1 year. That is 1080. It is absolutely correct. So that sounds
Correct.
good. So let's go ahead and explore that out of. So what? Instead of extracting in the vertical way, let's. So this is T4 into C4 plus 1. So this was, so let's extract it or drag it in the horizontal way.
Horizontal way.
So so now you can see it is getting multiplied each year. So in the year 2 you can see it has multiplied to this much. Let's go and like we have extrapolate that. So well, something kind of funny is going on here, right? Like because this is saying that by the end of year 2 we now generated over $1 million, I guess, right? This is 10 million
Yeah,
dollars. Yeah. So, and by the end of year 3 over a billion. So by by the year of 10 he'll become the multi billionaire. So we have like I think that's quadrillion, which is increasing as the year, is more money than the entire world GDP. So this is impractical. Like no one can get this much of money in these many years, right?
yeah.
Also, yeah, getting $10 million in the next year, it is not it is impractical. So unless you are completely delusional, you have probably realized by this point that something has gone wrong. So with our formula, and in fact we can diagnose and figure out what exactly went wrong using some pretty what to say, some pretty simple tool. So one option is just to double click to edit the formula, like so, like we have to edit our formula, like this much of money no one can get. So there is something wrong in our formula, so we have to double click on the formula, and we can edit it. This is one option. Or you can press escape to get back the F2 shortcut will do, like or you can just what happened. Hmm. So before, so if you just click on this, if you just double click on this and press F2, like so in what is that going to do? When you're in edit mode, it will show you exactly what cells are referenced. So here you can see these two cells are referenced, that is D4, this is D4, and this is C4.
C4.
So it will show you exactly what cells are referenced within the formula, and it's nice and color coded, so that you can see, like, okay, I have got D4 is my
Oh,
starting
D.
balance, multiplying it by 1 plus C4 in orange, which is my growth rate. So that looks good. I can press enter or control enter to kind of enter it in place, and arrow over to F4 and do the same. Uh, okay. So this is, see, this is fine, but here there is something wrong. So here you will double click. So here you can see it is multiplying E4. It is multiplying the E4 balance with the D4 plus 1. See, it should specify C4, right? You
Yeah.
can you see here? So only it is getting that
Yes.
much money. It is multiplying E4. This is the E4, that is $1,080 with the D4 balance plus 1, but it should be
Plus 1.
C4.
Okay.
You did not
Because
get
we
that.
are because we are adding 8 plus what do we say?
See, here what? what is the formula is we are taking the starting balance, we are
Yes.
multiplying with the expected growth rate plus 1. But
Plus one.
what is the case here? The case here is we are multiplying this balance, year one balance, with the starting balance, but we have to
Yeah.
add it with the expected
Expected
growth
rate.
rate,
Growth
right?
rate. Yeah.
But it is taking the starting balance, and it is
Starting balance.
and then
Adding.
it is multiplying this number to this.
Yeah. I
So
got the point, ma'am.
okay, so now what we are going to do is I'm taking my new balance E4, which is $1080, which is correct. But now I'm multiplying that balance by 1 plus 1001 in cell D4. So multiplying it by over 1000, which is producing this $1 million number. So this was wrong, which is obviously incorrect. So what's going on here is that my reference for my growth rate had slide from C4 to D4 to E.
D4. Yeah.
Okay,
2E.
so it has slide. Here it was C4, but here it is D4. If you
D4.
see here, it is E4. So
E4.
this is sliding, right?
Yeah.
So this is the wrong thing here. We should like this. We have to diagnose the problem. We have to find out the reason for the error. So we know what is the reason for the this much of absolutely ridiculous numbers, that is very big, and this is why reference types are so important. What we can do here is we go back to our original function, and we say, hey excel, don't let column c shift to d e c. Here you can see this is
So,
our function. So we will say our excel to not to shift this c to d e f. Okay.
okay.
So gh and all, my growth rate always lives right here. This is the constant one. This is the
Yeah.
we want for every year to get multiplied with this cell only, with this row only. Okay.
Okay.
So I want to fix that reference in place. So what you could do here is type in, write in the formula bar those dollar signs. And what if we fix the whole reference right? We are always going to point to C for no matter where this formula lives. So if the formula goes to this cell, even at that time, this C4 should be same. So how we can do? We can place a dollar sign, and we can lock it. Okay.
Okay.
So here we will place a dollar sign. We want to place a dollar sign in the column also, even in the row also, like
True
uh,
also.
let, and let's press enter. So let's go ahead and drag it this one. Now we will drag a new formula. So now you can see it is giving the proper answer. So
Okay.
each year, so in the next year, the 1080 has changed to $1,166. In the
Mhm.
last case, it was $10 million, right? So we can
Yeah.
let this, we can fix this. So this is why the reference types are important,
Okay.
and this looks a more realistic. In fact, these numbers are absolutely correct. And now watch the formula bar. Like if I click on this, see this has been constant. Only the
Hmm.
first cell is changing. D4 is changing. E4 next to
E4.
F4 is next.
Because we have to take the reference of the previous cell. That is why.
Yeah, yeah. I4, J4, but this is remaining constant. Only this is being
Constant.
the
Changed.
relative. Yeah, changed.
Got it. This is an important tool.
Yes. But our growth rate is always pointing back to C4, which in this case is just what we need. So last step here that takes care of asset A. Let's go ahead and grab this whole set of formulas and drag it down this time to us assets B and C. Okay, we'll see what will happen if we drag it down. We'll
But it
drag
is
it
not
down.
right because the percentage is different, right?
Yeah.
That will create a big problem. So again, we
Hmm.
have to go back and we have to uh, put the formula like
Yes.
what I have to put is equal to D4, not
Hmm.
D4, sorry, D5
D5. Yes.
into, and then bracket open,
Hmm.
dollar sign,
Hmm.
C5, C
Hmm.
dollar 5 plus 1,
Hmm. Yes. We'll
and
see
then
what.
bracket close. And then we have
Hmm.
to drag it to the horizontal way, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are
Okay.
halfway right.
Halfway
We'll
right.
see what. Yeah, we'll
I
see what.
tried.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You tried. This is what we need because student have they have to interact with us. They have to solve the problems and all. Yeah, what
Yeah.
you have said is right. We'll see what changes we can do here. We are getting the same answers, but we have the growth rate expected at a different one. Here it was 8%, but here we have 5%. So why it is taking the same growth rate means we have fixed this one dollar signs. Okay, so it is taking the old
Okay.
growth rate. We want 5% and 2%, but we are seeing the exact same projections in every single row and and same story here. So we can now what we can do, we can diagnose each by editing one of these cells. So you can click on this. So if you press F2, it will go in edit mode. So now you see it is referencing this orange. This is C4. It is referencing this one and the D6. You can see here, this is the constant one and this is the relative one. This is what D6. Okay, so and pretty quickly it becomes clear that the problem is that we are always pointing back to C4 because we have put the dollar sign here. So because both the column reference C and the row reference 4 are fixed in place. C and the 4. This is the C. This is the this is the column reference, and this is the row reference. C is the column reference, 4 is the row reference, and we have fixed it. So now what we can do, we can remove the dollar sign for the row reference. So all we need to do in that case, let's undo, and that is go back to E4 right here, and so no matter where the formula lives, the growth rates are always in column C, but we don't want the of 4 to remain fixed. So what we will do, we will remove dollar from the row.
Okay.
So we will remove the dollar from the row, but we are not removing the dollar from the C because C is the column where the growth rate lives for all the assets. So I'm going to simply remove or delete the reference on the row and only fix the column. So and then I will press enter. One second. So what I will do, I will drag this. Then I will drag it down. So now you can see this has changed. Now this has been calculated according to the new growth asset. I mean growth rate. It was see 1050, 1103. It is varying as per the growth rates.
Okay.
Okay, so what we did, we made constant only C column because this is the place where the growth rate lives for all the assets. But
Okay.
we have not made the row, that is 4 5, that the row reference is 4, that we have not made the constant. We have not put the dollar sign there, so that,
Okay.
so if you click on 1050, you can see the C remains same, but the row reference has changed it to 5.
5. Yeah.
Okay, so if you click on the next below one, so you can see the row reference has changed it to 6.
Changed.
Okay, so which we want to lock, that we will put dollar, which we want to change, which we want to make it as re- relative, that we will from that reference we will remove the dollar.
Okay.
So those numbers stay as expected. So this
Okay.
is how.
This is a bit complicated, but once I
Yeah.
get the once I practice about it, then it will be much easier.
Mm-hmm. So this is the pretty simple example, but a good one to illustrate why reference types are so valuable, and
Yeah.
how they can help you work much more efficiently with formulas in
Right.
Excel. Okay, so we
Yeah.
have plenty of examples. Like we go as we proceed in this course, we will use plenty of times. We will use this concept, that is reference type. Okay, so you will get a exposure there also. You need not worry. Okay. So then we'll see some common error Excel. So we'll see common Excel error types. One second. So let's discuss about common error Excel types. So here is the thing, like so see, no matter how skilled you get in Excel, whether you are an absolute wizard, a Microsoft MVP, it doesn't, like what, it doesn't matter. You will continue to make mistakes. So if everyone experiences these common Excel errors, and the purpose of this demo, this section, is to talk about 6 of the most common error types. So we will discuss what they mean and how to fix them, and and actually practice experiencing them inside of the Excel environment. So
Okay.
let's get started with the first error type. So the first error, we have seen this one before. This is the hash mark error. So see, uh, we had seen this hash mark error.
Yes.
And honestly, it is the simplest of all the errors, because all it means is that it is not having enough to display the underlying values. Okay, so if
Okay.
the value of that column is not having enough space to display, at that time we will get this error type, that is found, that is ash ash ash. So the fix is how we can fix it. They are super simple. All you have to do is drag or double click your column to increase the width until it contain that value. So you might have noticed this. If you get such type of dollar symbol, you just have to come to your column and just once again let
Extend
me
the
do.
width.
Yes. So what I will do here, I will do, I think at this time, at this place, we got that, I guess.
Yeah, the numbers are small. Yeah,
So we have
see
got
the
this error
flags.
type. Yes, if you just
Yeah,
double click on the width, it will adjust to that length size.
automatically. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So let me change this dollar. So
Okay.
all you have to do is just to drag or double click your column to increase the width until it can contain that value. So let's, this is very example. This is very easy.
Easy one.
Yeah. The second one is, so the we'll go to second error type. So the next error we are going to discuss is mm, this one. Talk about is the name error. This one, that is the next error is the name error, and this is the, and this is when Excel doesn't recognize text within a formula. So if the Excel gets confused what is the text within a formula, at that time Excel will give this type of error. So it's Excel basically saying, what are you asking me to do right now? I don't understand. And so the way to fix that is to make sure that your function names are correct, that your references are valid, and that any text that you're trying to reference within a function is surrounded in quotes. So let's see what this looks like back in our Excel workbook. So let's go back to our Excel workbook. So let's say we want to add a new formula here in cell B8. Here I want to B8. Here I want to add a new formula, and we are going to use something like a match function here. Match. Again, we are going to cover this in depth, but now don't worry too much about it. But basically, I'm saying, hey Excel, I want you to match this this text this text string asset A surrounded in quotes, and I want to match this asset A surrounded in quotes, and I want you to try to find its match right here and cells B4, and I'll see. I'll show you. Like here, I want to match this word asset A and find its match right here and cells B4 to B6. And for the match type, I'm going to type a 0, which means I want you to find the exact match. And when I press enter, it will give me 1. It works great. I get a 1 because it found asset A in the first position within this range. right?
Okay.
Within this range, it has find that one in the first position, so it has given me that position. I get a one because it found a match. That's kind of how the match function. But what if we spelled
Yes.
match wrong? Okay. What if we spelled match wrong? If I just give, if I spell it wrong, so it is
Yeah.
giving me name error. So if we give her something wrong, if we give the spelling mistakes in the function name, and if we like what if we what like if we don't follow the right type of arguments, like if we shift the position of the arguments also, if the excel gets confused what to do, at that time it will give this name error.
So it will directly mention you that the error is in the spelling or the name.
uh, See, if you click on I button, it will say the formula contains unrecognized text.
Text.
Yes. So you can go to error checking options also.
Okay.
So you can check here whatever it is. Okay. So shall we wind up here?
Ma'am, one more thing I wanted to tell you that whatever we are learning, like in the past lecture and the today's lecture,
Hmm.
so can
Hmm.
you give me the what do we say, an Excel sheet to the way you are, giving me the
Sure, sure,
examples
sure. Yeah, yeah,
practically,
I
so
can.
that
Hmm. Hmm.
after completing the lecture, if I want to revise something, so I can go back
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
Excel the way you sent on this app, and then I
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
download it and I can practice on it.
Sure, sure. Now itself, I'll put a study material and all here. Okay,
Yes,
you
yes,
can
yes. Okay.
practice it.
Yeah, yeah, that
Oh,
would be great.